Okay, let's look at the first type of stock spread, and we have the three money management rules that we mentioned. We exit losing trades quickly before they turn into large losses. We don't exit winning trades with a small gain, and then we use options to protect profits with winning trades by creating a spread. So we're looking at this third money management rule. When we create a spread trade, we're protecting our profits by using options. So the first type of stock spread trade we'll look at are covered calls. And we trade both monthly and weekly covered calls. Today we're just going to look at the weekly covered calls due to our time restraints. So we're heavily involved with selling an option premium with weekly covered calls, and we also trade the monthly covered calls, but we'll save that for another presentation. So with a covered call, of course, you buy 100 shares of a stock or an ETF, and then you sell a weekly call option. And when you sell an option premium, cash is credited to your brokerage account. So each week when we sell these weekly premiums, there's cash that goes into our account each week, and that goes immediately into your account after you sell the call option. So if you were to sell an option, let's say with a 4-point premium, then $400 in cash gets credited to your brokerage account. So this cash credit reduces the cost basis of the stock and reduces the overall risk of the trade. So whenever you sell these premiums, you're reducing the cost basis of your stock. And selling weekly options allows us to compound our returns, because each week we receive this premium in cash, and that allows us to, over time, to compound our returns. So selling weekly option premiums can lead to a 100% cash-on-cash return, regardless of the price movement of the underlying stock. So once you sell an option premium, that cash goes into your account. You get to keep that cash no matter what the underlying stock does. So in all cases, you keep that cash that's credited to your account. So if you invest $4,000 to buy 100 shares of, let's say, an ETF, over the course of a year, you could receive $4,000 in cash income. And I'll show you some examples of that. And these weekly covered calls, we've been doing these since weekly options were created, and they can profit in any type of market condition, and there's less risk involved with covered calls than there is with just owning the stock or ETF outright. So weekly options start trading on Thursday, and then they expire the following Friday. So they have a trading life of 6 trading days. There's 52 opportunities each year to sell option premium, and this allows us to, when we roll over our options each week, that allows us to compound our returns, because each week we're collecting cash. So let's look at an actual example. I have 100 shares of ERX, that's the energy leveraged ETF. So I own 100 shares of ERX in my account, and then each week I sell a weekly option premium, and on Friday I close out the expiring weekly option and then sell to open the new weekly option. So here's so when we roll over the expiring option, that allows us to keep the stock or the ETF in our account, so we won't be called out. So we like to close out the expiring option. That way we get to keep the ETF or the stock in our account, and we sell the new option. Here's an actual example. This is a spread trade I used, and I was buying to close the September 16 weekly call. So this is an actual spread trade that I put in. So I was closing out the September 16 weekly call, and then I was selling to open the September 23rd 29 strike call. So closing out the September 16th and then selling to open the September 23rd. So you can see these are weekly options as they expire on the Friday of the week. So September 16th was a Friday, September 23rd was the next Friday. So I use these spread trades, and I can save on the commission and then the bid-ask spread for the option. So normally roll over using a spread trade and close out the expiring option and sell to open the new option. And here's, so I was selling the September 23rd, and here's my actual fill right here. Sold the September 23rd 29 call at 114. So when I sold that call, you can see $105 was in cash was credited to my brokerage account. That's that green number right here. So that's after commission. So sold the option at 114, $105 in cash was credited to my account. And again, I get to keep that cash no matter what happens to the price of ERX. So let's project out here. Let's say you were going to buy ERX, buy 100 shares of ERX, and then start selling weekly call options. The cost to buy 100 shares would be $2,912. So I collected $105 in cash. So if you divide that weekly premium by the cost, that works out to be a 3.6% weekly return, cash return on my initial investment of $29.12. And here's a listing over the last 8 weeks of the ERX premiums I sold, and I sold a total of them. This shows the weekly calls here. I sold September 2nd, September 9th, September 16th, and over here the green amount is the cash that went in my account. So sold 8 of these weekly calls, and I collected $964 in cash after commissions. So that averaged out to $120 per week in cash income. And if you multiply 120, if we were able to collect a similar premium each week, then if you multiply 120 by 52 weeks, you would collect $6,265 in cash over the course of the year. And of course, if you divide that $6,200 in cash, potential cash income, by your initial cost of $29.12, that works out to a 215% cash on cash return over the course of the year, no matter what happens to the price of the ERX. So if you receive a 215% cash on cash return, a lot can go wrong and you're still going to make money. The underlying stock or ETF could decline substantially and you could still profit. Or if you had bad timing and when you enter the trade, you could still profit. So there could be volatile price swings in the underlying stock or ETF, and you could still profit. So this gives the weekly covered call strategy a big advantage over a stock directional trade that requires the stock to move up in price, or you're not going to make money. And it also can help you prevent getting stopped out of the trade because you're collecting that cash income, which acts as a buffer and can help prevent getting stopped out of your trade. So also over the course of a year, if you're rolling over these options each week and you collect this much money, you can buy more shares of ERX and sell more option premium, so you can start compounding pretty quickly when you sell these weekly option premiums. Here's another
Chuck,
example.
oh,
yes.
Sorry, Chuck, don't mean to interrupt, but we're getting actually a lot of questions about this from multiple different people asking about when they should be exiting the trades. What day do you sell? How do you know which strike price to sell? We're getting multiple questions about that. So if you
okay, that's a good question. We roll over on Friday, so we close out the expiring call option on Friday, and then we sell to open the new call option on Friday. And we normally do it at the money. The options that we sell are normally at the money. And the nice thing about the weekly options is if you're busy on Friday, you can always roll over on Thursday. You can close out the expiring option on Thursday and sell to open the new option on Thursday. So if you're busy on Friday, and sometimes that happens, and you can't trade, then you just roll over on Thursday instead. Here's one more example. This is FAS, and I own FAS in my account. That's the financial leveraged ETF, and here's an actual spread trade I used, and this was on a Friday. We were rolling over, and so we were closing out the September 16th 29.5 strike call, and we were selling to open the September 23rd 28 strike call. So by using this spread trade and closing out the expiring option and selling to open the new option, I was able to keep the FAS in my account, and it wasn't called out. So we normally just hold the stock or the ETF in our account and roll over on Friday to prevent from being called. And I sold the FAS September 23rd 28 call at 111, and then after commissions, $102 in cash went into my account, and FAS was trading at 28.31. So if you divide the $102 in cash it received, that's a weekly return of about 3.6%. Here's a list of the 8 most recent premiums I sold, weekly premiums I sold, and these amounted to, after commission, $688 in cash, and that averaged out to $86 a week in cash income, and that's about a potential 154% cash on cash return if I divide the 4,477 potential income by the initial cost of around $2,900. I have 154% cash on cash return. So again,